This is Bob Carlin right here, my good buddy from many years past. Currently living in the great state, the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. Originally, actually lived
clay on my shoes.
Clay on your shoes.
Red clay. I do.
You ramble.
Yes.
And anyway, we're going to talk about how you got involved with this crazy 5-string banjo. And what was the thing what was your epiphany? What was your light bulb going on?
Well, one of my moments was a similar moment to yours, and it was Pete Seeger. But I was much younger than you were. I was 5. And my mother used to take me into New York to go see concerts, and she took me to see Pete Seeger when I was 5. And that rang a bell with me. Of course, my folks had his records around the house, and they had Lead Belly records and Woody Guthrie, and they were folk dancers. So we had a lot of that music around. But that was one big moment. And then at summer camp, I met a guy named Jerry Marks, who had been Art Rosenbaum's roommate at another camp. And we worked at Bucks Rock Work Camp, which produced a lot of great musicians. We worked together, and Jerry showed me how to drop my thumb down, get me just off the basic frailing, and do it so that you can get your thumb onto the inside strings, off of the 5th string.
Right.
So that was a light bulb moment. And then our good friend Hank Sapoznik, who has gone on to be a leader in the klezmer movement, come back to the banjo more recently. He helps run the Charlie Poole Festival. He played in a much more complex style, melodic style on the banjo, and he introduced me through him also, besides the melodic style, he introduced me to all the New York guys. I think I met you in that time period. Yeah.
Mid to later 70s.
Mid 70s or so, yeah. But I also met the late Ray Alden and a lot of people who, therefore, Ray took me to my final light bulb moment, which was my first trip south in 1975. So all of those, that was a progression of happy accidents that led me into this music.
So you taught yourself to do clawhammer. Is that kind of what happened to get the basic move?
To some degree, yeah. To some degree, I learned and then had to go back and figure out later what it was I was doing and clean it up some. My way of learning has always been to get lessons, to get help when I need it, to use a book. I haven't used books very much, but to use a book to get started, use a class, use a resource, and then go off and work on it. And I've always had a fairly well-developed ear, and most of my learning has been by ear. Yeah.
You mentioned that you had a light bulb experience going down south. What was it about being down south that turned you on?
Well, I went and met Tommy Jarrell and Fred Cockrum and Kyle Creed and some other musicians. And I met a bunch of young players, too, who were following these musicians and learning from them. And so the combination of that just set me on fire. I mean, it just convinced me that this was the greatest music I ever heard, and I should be a banjo player and not a guitar player.
So once you had this epiphany, you must have thought, how can I earn a living doing this?
No, I never unfortunately thought that, but I think that's been my big problem, is that, the joke is, you can make tens of dollars playing the banjo, or right. What we lose on each sale we make up in volume, and all those jokes, and how do you get the banjo player off your porch? You pay for the pizza. But I've been very fortunate in that I have a number of talents that I can draw upon, and I haven't been afraid to say, oh, I can do that, when I had no clue about how to do it. As far as music goes, I can play the banjo, but I've developed into, I hope, a good teacher with DVDs and books and column and banjo newsletter. But also I'm a writer, and so I write about the history of the music, and I've written, a book about the early days of the banjo, about Joe Walker Sweeney. And learned how to do audio, and so can engineer and produce recordings, and did radio for a long time. And so all these things hopefully, give you tens of dollars, to 15s of dollars. I mean, it's obviously not always, it's not a lucrative living. You do it because you love it, and because, as Fred Cockrum said to me, he says, tell him Fred Cockrum could play a banjo but can't anymore. It's your job to carry on this music.
Yeah.
Who else is going to do it?
Yeah.